No one warns you about the day everything changes. The moment your sense of safety shatters, right there on a plain old sidewalk. I didn't get a heads up. Nobody stepped out to stop what was coming. One minute, my little girl was beaming, steering her wheelchair in front of our townhome, just happy, you know? The next, she was screaming, pinned beneath a snarling pit bull. And for a second, my whole body froze, like my brain just couldn't catch up. But then it hit me hard. This was real, not some nightmare, and I dove at the dog. My heart going so wild I thought I'd pass out. All I saw were teeth, wild eyes, my daughter's face contorted with terror. That image, it burned itself right into me. I pulled the dog off, its saliva dripping onto the concrete, my daughter's tears mixing with blood. And I felt something in me break, this kind of rage I've only ever felt a handful of times in my life. Then out steps Corintha, head of the HOA, arms folded, face stone cold like she was watching a traffic ticket, not a kid get mauled. That's when I knew, this woman, she had no idea who she was up against. She didn't know I was a Navy SEAL, didn't know I'd seen worse, but nothing that hit this close to home. And there was no way I was letting her walk away from this. My daughter, she's 8, born with a congenital condition, can't walk, needs her wheelchair, but that's never dimmed her light. Always smiling, always the first to make a joke, even if the sidewalks in our old place were a minefield for her wheels. We moved here because, hell, we just wanted her to have smooth pavement. It's kind of funny, looking back, we worried about cracked concrete, never about a person turning our lives upside down. But you never know, right? Anyway, people warned us about Karen. Folks really call her that, running the HOA like it's her own little kingdom. She fined people for mulch for leaving a kid's bike outside. I figured, I've dealt with tough personalities before. Never thought I'd see someone use a Pitbull as a power play, though. That day, bright and clear, the kind where you expect lemonade stands and chalk on the sidewalk. My daughter wanted to test out her new wheelchair, those special wheels for extra stability. I was walking with her, half listening to her ramble about cartoons, and then, that bark way too close. Before I could blink, a gray and white pit bull shot across the lawn, straight at her. She tried to back up, but her hands fumbled, and then, boom, the dog's on her lap, snarling, just chaos. I went into overdrive, grabbing the collar, yelling, fists pounding, got the dog off her barely as she scrambled back, crying. The pit bull lunged again, and I just threw myself between them, letting it sink its teeth into my arm instead. The pain was unreal, but all I could think was, thank God it's me, not her. And then Karen showed up, clipboard in hand, lips twisted in this smug, condescending way. You can't be on this lawn, she snapped, like that justified what just happened. I'm holding my bleeding arm, my daughter sobbing behind me, and Karen? Zero sympathy. There are signs, she said, no trespassing. I told you, don't let your kid roll around here without permission. Salt in an open wound, that's what it felt like. I demanded to know what the hell she was thinking, letting her dog run loose, letting it attack a disabled kid. She shrugged, literally shrugged, and said the pit bull was protecting HOA territory. If I didn't like it, I could take it to the next meeting or call a lawyer. I scooped up my daughter and got her out of there, Karen's voice following us like a bad smell. At urgent care, a nurse with these worried eyes asked if I was going to file a police report. Damn right, I said, after we got my daughter bandaged up. Bruised ribs, scratched legs, thank God. Nothing life-threatening, but the shock was real. All the while, my little girl kept whispering, I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't mean to break any rules. That broke my heart. The police said it could be negligence, maybe assault, but warned me Karen might spin it as just an accident. But I knew, just from the way she looked at us, nothing about this was an accident. That night, neighbors started reaching out. Some offered sympathy. Others told stories. Karen using her pit bull to scare away skateboarders, threatening fines if a kid so much as looked at her grass. No one had really stood up to her. They were all too afraid of getting hit with more HOA nonsense. Next morning, I called Paula, an attorney friend, and Marcus, a buddy from my SEAL days, who trains K-9S for the Army. Told them what happened. Marcus said, that's not just unethical, that's criminal. If you want justice, get evidence. He was right. The law is slow without proof. My daughter's body was healing, but she wouldn't go outside. She'd ask, "Does Karen hate kids like me?" I just promised her, over and over, that nobody would ever hurt her again. I started gathering stories. Jeff, 3 houses down, told me Karen's Pitbull chased his nephew off a walkway. Andrea, a single mom, said Karen threatened to kick her out if her kid played in the shared playground. The more I heard, the more I realized this wasn't just about us. Karen had been bullying everyone. I met with Jeff in his living room. He whispered, afraid Karen might be listening. She'd find him for outdoor lights, showed up with her Pitbull, implied she'd set it on him if he didn't comply. "You're a SEAL," he said. "You know how to fight back. I'm just an accountant." I promised we'd protect him. And once word got out, more neighbors came forward. Some cheered me on. Others warned me Karen had friends at City Hall. But people were ready for change. We got organized. Paula helped us collect every letter, every threatening email, every photo. Marcus agreed to testify about the Pitbull's training. Mike, a retiree, pointed out the next HOA meeting was in 3 days. That gave us just enough time to get our ducks in a row. I read through the HOA bylaws. You wouldn't believe how much fine print there is, and found the exact opposite of what Karen claimed. All pets must be leashed always. No resident can enforce rules with violence. She was twisting the rules for her own power trip. The night of the meeting, I showed up with my arms still bandaged, heart pounding. The room was packed. Karen was at the front, Pitbull at her feet, acting like she was queen. She gave this speech about order and community values, but everyone could feel the tension. When she asked for new business, I stood up. "My name's Jack," I said, "and I have a formal complaint. The HOA president let her dog attack my disabled daughter." The room went dead silent. Karen just looked bored and asked what proof I had. I told the whole story. Neighbors chimed in about their own run-ins, and Karen tried to wave it all off as hearsay. I showed the photos, my daughter's bruises, my own bite. Karen sneered, said we brought it on ourselves. But the mood shifted. People were angry. I read from the bylaws. All pets leashed. No vigilante enforcement. Karen claimed a special clause, which, of course, she couldn't produce. Then Marcus stood up and calmly explained how a pit bull doesn't act like that unless it's been commanded or trained to. He described the dog's posture, the way it watched Karen, and said it was clear she was in control. Karen tried to end the meeting, but I told her, "You walk out, we're going to court." She huffed, stormed out, Pitbull in tow. But that was it. The crowd saw through her. That night, I filed the police report. Witnesses backed me up. Sure enough, next day, Karen started retaliating, bogus fines, unpermitted gathering on my door, citations for Jeff, you name it. A week later, we're in court. Karen comes in looking sharp, but her pit bull's gone. Her lawyer claims my daughter trespassed, that the dog was acting instinctually, and, get this, that my SEAL background makes me aggressive. I almost laughed out loud. Paula laid out the evidence. Witness after witness describing Karen using the dog to intimidate. Then Andrea, who'd been too afraid before, showed a phone video. You can see my daughter in her wheelchair, the pit bull charging. Karen on her porch doing nothing. The judge watched, stone-faced, asked Karen why she ignored the leash rule. She stammered, special circumstances, but had nothing to back it up. The judge ordered the pit bull removed and launched a review of the whole HOA. You could feel the tension break. People finally believed change was possible. Over the next few weeks, Paula found more dirt. Karen had misused HOA funds, covered up spending as security expenses. The final trial was a parade of witnesses, each one describing how Karen and her pit bull had turned the community into a place of fear. Marcus testified again, breaking down the behavior, showing it was learned, not instinct. Paula's closing hit home. A disabled girl, scarred, a community held hostage, and a president who weaponized an animal. The judge found Karen guilty of negligence, personal injury, ordered damages, even recommended animal cruelty charges. She was removed as HOA president and banned from ever holding office again. When the bailiff escorted her out, she shot me one last glare, but that was it. Her power was gone. Neighbors hugged, shook my hand. My daughter's safety finally felt real. The Pitbull went to a rescue organization, and while part of me was relieved, another part just felt sad for the dog. It was as much a victim as any of us. With Karen gone, the HOA reformed. The new board actually listened. The playground was full of kids again. My daughter started venturing outside, nervous but getting stronger. People asked if I regretted going up against Karen, if it was too much. I always say, I'm a SEAL, this is what I do. But it was the community that won. One voice gets drowned out, but when everyone stands up, bullies can't last. The scars faded, my daughter's smile came back. And one day, the new HOA president dedicated a patch of lawn for all kids to play, with a sign, in honor of courage, where community triumphs over fear. My girl ran her hand over it, beaming. That's the moment I realized, sometimes it takes a nightmare to wake a neighborhood up. So yeah, Karen weaponized fear, thought she was untouchable, but the day she unleashed that dog, she lost everything. The real power isn't in a title or a clipboard. It's in people standing up together. That's the lesson my daughter will carry, that, and the knowledge that even the darkest moments can end with laughter and sunlight. And you know what? I hope folks keep telling this story, not for me, but so no one else ever thinks intimidation wins. Because in the end, community beats cruelty every time. What about you? Would you have stood up or kept your head down? I'd love to hear where you draw the line between rules and justice. Let's talk about it.